What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition, Season 18, Episode 6. The episode was titled High on Molly. Mally. High on Mally. Not Molly. High on Mally. Mally. So, you guys, before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other review on the channel and you guys are not subscribed to the channel, then I'm gonna need you guys to do me a huge favor and stop taking me out on this date and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, turn your notifications on so that way you guys are notified when I drop content. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let us go ahead and talk about Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition, shall we? Alright, you guys, so this episode, we see the couples, they're waking up for the day, right? We see Miles and Amber in their room, and Miles wants to have sex with Amber. I'm going to piggyback to Miles and Amber a little bit later in this review, but we're going to move forward. So then we see them all sitting down, right? So Molly is asking Moani about she and Tough, and she's like, she thinks she's asked all the questions that she needs. She's been vocal about what she wants to know, right? So then, they start talking to her. And the thing that I did not like in this scene with a lot of them, it was the fact that you had Neri, you had Nori, and it was Neri and Nori for sure. They were talking to Moani. So Tough cheated on Moani. He was 25 years old when it happened, right? So they were like, he was young. He was young. You do dumb stuff when you're young, which that is true. I mean, even me in my 20s, I did some dumb stuff, right? But how do you excuse? Yes, okay. We can rule out. We can go with the argument that he was young. We can have that argument, but we're not gonna just lead on that. We're not just gonna lean into that argument that he was a young man when he did the cheating, right? You had your girlfriend who was pregnant with your child, and you go and cheat on her. That was a conscious decision. He consciously did that. So I'm not gonna sit here and excuse what he did. I can't give any excuses for what he did. Like, he did it, and like I know they want to keep, like I said, they keep going with the he was young, and he was young. But like I said, it was still it was very much a conscious decision to do it, right? So then Tough, he talks about his family and how he grew up. Now, granted, what he said about how he grew up, I know that was conditioned, and he thought that was normal, but it's not normal. And once you got to a certain age, you should have known that, damn, what happened with my mom and my dad, him having another family and making sure that we were taken care of, that really wasn't healthy. Like, you should have unpacked that, right? And then he said his grandmother was the same way, which I know that back in the day that was common, right? For the men to have their wives at home, but then have another family, 2 or 3 families on the side. Like I've said, I don't know if I'm gonna put my family business out there too much, but my grandfather, he wasn't a perfect person, but he had his outside set of kids, right? Outside of my grandmother's kids, he had 2 different families. Two different families, right? He had the kids with my grandmother, so he had and the interesting thing is, when I literally, because even I thought about it when I was growing up. After I got older, and I realized, I'm like, damn, like, I would think about my grandma. I'm like, how can you do that to my big mama? Like, because I love my grandmother to death. I love my grandmother, and I thought, I'm like, how can he do that to her? Like, some of my aunts and uncles by my grandmother are the same. Some of them were actually the three kids that he had outside of the marriage. They're the same age as some of the kids that he has with my grandmother, and one of them is, I think, is one of my aunts and one of my uncles. They're about a week or two. They're not that far apart. They're about a week or 2 apart, maybe, I think, because they were both born in the same month. But yeah, so I mean, I get what he's saying, right? But shouldn't you would, I mean, growing up, after you, like I said, after you got older, you can tell when, I mean, you can look at that stuff and say, this is not right. So he automatically expected for Moni to be okay with, okay, yeah, I got you and our kid, and I'm taking care of you two, but I got this on the side, so you should be okay with that. And that was a deal breaker for her. And so he apologized to her, and that was really what she wanted, was acknowledgement from him, and to apologize. And she's like, oh, we can pack our stuff up now and go. But we're gonna move on, you guys. All right, you guys. Now this is where the ish hits the fan, literally. So everybody's still in the kitchen, right? So Miles looks over to Treasure. He's like, hey, Treasure, you okay? Because you look a little down. And Treasure was like, she said she's just uncomfortable being here. And Mally was the thing with him was he discredits everything that Treasure says. Like anything that comes out of her mouth, he finds a way to flip it and make it just, it's all about her. It's all about her. He can never take any accountability for anything. He can't say that, oh, maybe I was wrong for that, Treasure. Maybe I was wrong for this. He always manages to find a way to flip it back onto Treasure, right? So then Treasure hit us with the, we fake. This is, I got to tell y'all my truth. And I was like, what is your truth? Which I kind of figured what the truth was. Because like I said in the first episode review, Treasure was on this show on WeTV, which is called Beyond the Pole. Treasure was on that show. That show was filmed in Atlanta. I didn't realize that. But Treasure was on I didn't really watch the whole entire season, but I watched enough to know that when she was on Beyond the Pole, she was single. She wasn't with anybody. So I was like, so that's when I was questioning, like, when did they film Marriage Bootcamp as opposed to Beyond the Pole? That's what I was kind of confused about. I'm like, when did they film these two shows? So she let us know that they were a fake couple, that they knew each other, right? But they had never been intimate with each other. They had never really done anything with each other until the quarantine, right? So then she tells us about the first time that they had sex, right? She said he took a Viagra and some Molly, and that he coerced her into taking it as well. Oh God! Now when she said that, I was like, wow. And I'm more inclined to, he deflects. He's saying that he didn't do. That's not true. That's not true, right? I'm actually more inclined to believe Treasure, because even Treasure said something that I have been thinking for a while. That the reason that Molly and Treasure really came onto this show, she said they came onto this show to advance their careers, right? Basically, you guys know that they get paid $100,000 to be in. They get paid $100,000. I don't know if I think that's probably per couple, right? So if you get $100,000 for 10 days, and if you have to split that, like, you make out like a villain. Like $100,000 for 10 days. So yeah, she came on there for the money. He came on there to clean up his image. It ain't helping, because we all know the cases that Molly has against him. So he came on there basically just to clean up his image. And like I just said, didn't do you any favors, buddy. It did you not one favor. So Dr. Ish pulls both Treasure. They actually pull Treasure to the side, right? And Dr. Ish then was talking to Treasure, and she said, yeah, we came on here, we were supposed to just come on here, get the money, and that was it. She's like, I'm gonna be real with you. She's like, it's COVID and I got bills to pay. And I was like, yeah, I can't knock that, right? I get it. If you ain't filming the show, if the shows that you were on hiatus and you ain't filming, you ain't really making no money. So I get it. I got where Treasure's coming from. But Molly, like I said, his thing is this. It's about that case that he got against him. But I don't know how this would help him. I guess just to show that just to show what his character is, or that he's working on himself. I don't know. So Dr. Ish goes and talks to Mally, right? And Mally is still lying, saying that he and Treasure are a real couple. That he said they had been talking. She wants to do music, now that part I do believe. I do believe that Treasure wants to do music, and I do believe that she probably reached out to him for help, right? I believe that part. But then he kept talking about they were talking over the phone. It got romantic. I'm like, that's a lie. And Dr. Ish said, you're 43. What are you doing? And I was like, exactly. You too old for this shit. Like Dr. Ish said, we're not in high school. Like, we're not in high school at all. So I don't know what Molly was talking about. I'm going to pause here and we're going to move forward, you guys. Alright, you guys. So with this stuff that happened with Treasure and Mally, they literally put a pause on the day's events, right? They put a pause on the day's events, so that's that. And today was the day's drill was supposed to be about sex with the puppets, right? So they pushed that to the next day. So Treasure decided that she just wanted to go back home to her family in Houston, right? And Mally, they're gonna put him in another room. He's not gonna interact with the boot campers, and they're gonna figure out what to do with Mally later on. If Mally will stay a part of the program or if Mally should go home, right? So here's my thing. And it's not about Treasure. I'm gonna talk about Miles and Amber, and just actually let's go ahead and talk about them. Because we get to the drill that they were supposed to have, right? And it's with the puppets, right? So with Treasure, so with Miles and Amber, right? I also feel that Miles and Amber came on this show for a check as well. If we're being honest, I really believe that Miles and Amber came on this show for a check. I don't believe that Miles and Amber are a legitimate couple, right? I don't think Miles and Amber have been together since Love and Hip Hop. They haven't. Scratch that. Miles and Amber have not been together since Love and Hip Hop. And I'm gonna tell you guys how I know why, right? I'm gonna tell you guys because I actually follow Miles on Instagram, because after Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, after that season they were on, Miles got into a relationship with a man, and him and that guy was in a relationship for, I want to say they were in a relationship for a while, because Miles had a boyfriend literally after Love and Hip Hop, after they got off of Love and Hip Hop, right? Miles had a boyfriend. Then Amber just had a baby in 2018, right? So when did Miles and Amber get back together? Because like I just said, he was in a whole relationship, and I want to say it was at least for a year or so, right? Miles had a boyfriend. I do remember that. Remember that vividly. He had a boyfriend. I just don't remember. Now, I can't tell you guys what year it was, but I know he had a boyfriend at one point. And like I just said, she has a baby. And the baby, the little girl, she's 3 years old, I believe. She's not Miles' daughter. So I think with Miles and Amber, it's just two friends that came on the show, and they may have issues in their friendship. That I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's not possible. They may have issues within their friend relationship, but a romantic relationship they don't have. They don't have a romantic relationship. They can even be physical with each other, having sex. I can see that. But a romantic one, I just don't see Miles and Amber having a romantic relationship, right? So then they spin the wheel, right? And it was supposed to be, it said, hold my hand, right? So Amber her puppet is laying down, right? They're in the bed. His puppet gets in the bed trying to hold her hand, and she is pushing him away. So the reason my bad, I mean to burp me off face. So the reason she says that she's pushing him away is because of the fact that, she doesn't know if he wants just her or if he wants other men. But here's my question for Amber, right? How would, just take out of the equation that Miles is bisexual. Had he ever cheated on you with a woman that you knew of, right? Like, think about it as if you are Moani. Moani doesn't really trust Tough because he slept with other women. So take the men out of the equation. Take men out of the equation. That's the thing. Take the fact that he's bisexual out of the equation. If he weren't bisexual, would you then be worried about him sleeping with other women? Because what you're most so worried about is other men. Has he ever? I mean, I know he was with. And see, even that storyline on Love and Hip Hop, I don't know how legitimate that was, right? About them being in a relationship, and he was with Milan. I don't know how true that relationship was, but I think Milan even came out and said that that storyline wasn't as true as. I know Milan came out years ago and said that storyline wasn't completely real. So that's the question. Would he have cheated on you if he wasn't bisexual? Would you be worried about him cheating on you with a woman? If the answer is no, then why are you so worried about it? Because he's bisexual. Why do you think he would, if he didn't cheat on you with a woman, why do you think he would then cheat on you with a man? Questions. So then we move over to Moani and Tough, right? So with Moani and Tough, it appears to me from what, because he looked like he put his thing all up in her face, and she was laughing and smiling, and they had the little animal, not the animals, the stuffed dolls had sex with each other, right? And so it looks like they may get it popping in the bedroom, but then he was saying, Dr. It's like, is there something else that you like? So what he wants is oral sex, right? And she was like, I can't give that to him because, she wonders who else's mouth was down there. Now, Moani, I have a question for you as well, similar to my question for Amber. So my question for Moani is, what's the difference, right? You don't know, you're able to have sex with him, right? And you don't wonder about what other woman he was sleeping with, right? So why is it so different that you worry about what other woman's mouth was down there? And it's kind of a bit of a, I hate to say it, but it's a little bit of a contradiction, right? You're not concerned about whose vagina he was in, but you're worried about whose mouth he was in. I'd be more worried about the vagina than the mouth. I would be more worried about the vagina, right? This is just me speaking. I would be a little bit more, I'd be like, damn, I don't want to have sex with you because I don't know who you were dipping it and doing it in. That would be my concern. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And then wrap it up, we'll talk about Neri and Nori. Neri and Nori, she initiates sex with him, and she, I guess, just wants him to be more freaky, and she wants help once again. So Judge Tola comes out. I love the way Judge Tola comes out. She be smooth with it, like, yeah. Judge Tola be real smooth when she come out and talk to the boot campers, right? So she talks to them all. I know that Dr. Ish did tell Moani that if she can't get past it, the oral sex, to let him go. So Judge Tola came out, gave her, her. I know she told Amber and Brock, they say Amber and Miles, she told them to figure out the confines of them and only them, get away from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, right? I forgot what she said to Moani and to Tough, and I forgot what she said to Neri and Nori. I just remember what she said to Miles and Amber. So then we go back to Dr. Ish. He went and he's going to let Molly know what his decision is. So the decision is, you got to go, and I don't blame him, because they're not a legitimate couple, and this is for couples. I mean, now granted, have we saw some fake couples on this show? Absolutely. We've absolutely saw some fake couples, but I think with the fake couples that we saw, even with the fake couples that we saw, they had at least gone on dates with each other, and actually, there's one couple in question that I still don't know if they were, actually, I think they were literally together at some point. At some point in the process, they were together. Fizz and that girl, I forget what her name is, but whatever. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.